A Miami, Florida cop has pled guilty for extorting cocaine and cash from suspects. Can you believe it? What's up, family? How y'all doing today? Hopefully, better than this guy. Before we get started, as always, if this video goes past 10 minutes, please jump over to YouTube. You can always catch the full video there. And if you haven't done it yet, if you don't know me, hit that like and subscribe button. Get to know me. Don't miss my stories, especially my latest ones, because they seem to keep getting juicier every time. And all we do on this channel is report corrupt cops, corrupt judges, corrupt officials. So definitely get the latest and greatest news on all the corruption going on in our country. Did I say "end" with a D? No. Okay, anyway. With that being said, let's get into this one, shall we? This report is coming to you by me, written by the Miami New Times. Former Miami cop pleads guilty in scheme to extort suspects out of cash and cocaine. And the now fired Miami officer attempted to exploit his badge to shake down would-be drug traffickers for tens of thousands of dollars and a little bit of nose candy. Former Miami police officer Frenel Sinnott has pleaded guilty to a scheme in which he tried to extort suspects out of drugs and money under the threat of arrest. You know what? This guy's name sounds familiar. I think I did a story on this recently, but he was just arrested. He hadn't pleaded yet, so it looks like he's pled guilty. But if I'm correct, as we read further, I think this is the guy that got busted because he was trying to extort suspects, but I think he actually ran up on a couple undercovers and tried to rob them. But let's find out. Sinnott entered a guilty plea to charges of attempted Hobbs Act extortion and attempted possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. That's a first. I've never seen an attempted to possess drug charges. I mean, okay. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for June 13th. The original story follows below. Probably shouldn't have read that part. Here we go. More than 3 months after a veteran Miami officer was arrested and charged with trying to extort money and cocaine from drug trafficking suspects, the city of Miami has fired him from the police force. Frenel Sinnott was terminated from his job as a Miami Police Department officer last month following his arrest in 2023 by the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The Bureau says a sting operation busted Sinnott as he pulled over undercover agents, this is that one, posing as drug dealers and forced them to hand over thousands of dollars along with what he believed to be a mound of cocaine. he got busted. He got busted stealing sugar from undercover. His termination was effective February 23rd, according to the Miami Civil Service Board's March 5 meeting agenda. Sinnott, who joined the police department around 2008 and spent the past few years working in the evidence room, was arrested on November 16 on charges of Hobbs Act extortion, theft of government funds, and attempted possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Like, I get the attempted possession now, but how are they going to get him with attempt to distribute? If he never even got anything to distribute. Like, did they find like messages in his phone? Hey, I'm about to get some dudes. I'll have that for you pretty soon. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but let's continue. Authorities were led to Senate via a tip from a confidential source who said the officer had used his badge and unmarked police car to stop drug trafficking suspects in Broward County and then make off with their drugs and money. He got ratted out by a trafficker. Yo. Seriously. Investigators arranged for the informant to draw Sennett into the sting operation by feeding him fabricated information about drug deals pending in the area. On November 3rd, Sennett pulled over a driver who he thought was transporting drugs, but was actually an undercover agent. Sennett falsely identified himself as Officer Martez of the Miami Police Department, Dade County Narcotics Unit, and promised to let the driver go if he gave Sennett a $50,000 cash or stash of cash he had in the vehicle, according to the criminal complaint. Sennett allegedly took the money from the undercover agent and released him. Later that month, on November 16th, Sennett pulled over another undercover officer and, under the impression he was a drug dealer, gave him the option to either turn over wads of cash and cocaine or risk prison time, the FBI says. This time, Sennett allegedly identified himself as Officer Martez of the Broward County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit. Quote, "You want to go home tonight or spend 30 years in federal prison?" Sennett asked the agent, according to the complaint. Sennett took a duffel bag from the officer with $80,000 in cash and $100 bills, and 7 kilograms of fake cocaine, and allowed him to leave. Following Sennett's arrest, Miami Police Chief Manuel Morales called him a corrupt officer. Quote, "The arrest of Officer Sennett is the result of a joint operation focused on identifying corrupt cops, and it's an example of the repercussions when one of our own betrays their oath of office and tarnishes their badge," Morales said in a statement. Quote, "I stand firmly committed to transparency and ensuring the community's trust is upheld throughout this investigation," unquote. A Miami police union has not responded to a request for comment about Sennett's firing. In response to questions regarding the months-long process to terminate Sennett, the Miami Police Department did not comment, instead referring New Times to a general list of lengthy internal affairs protocols and procedures for the department's disciplinary review. Sennett's arraignment was delayed until early February, at which point an initial not guilty plea was recorded. He has a change of plea hearing set for March 21st, where he pled guilty. So, yeah, pretty wild. He's gonna be sitting behind bars for quite a while. Hopefully, for his sake, he gets at least a bail and can post bail, so he can have a little bit of more time on the outside before he's down for the count. And yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's one to wrap your head around, right? Anyhow, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like, subscribe button. Seriously, help me push this content. If you like the video, don't be scared to share it. And as always, I love each and every one of you. And until the next time, stay wild.